Welcome to today's discussion about the vision or your vision 2030. I am very delighted to have Professor Alfried Längle with me today. He's a professor of psychology and the founder of the International Society of Logotherapy and Existential Analysis in Vienna, and he not only teaches in Vienna but also in Moscow, Mendoza and Santiago de Chile. And I'm really looking forward to this discussion with you about the Vision 2030 and especially the existential analytical part of it. So if you look at the world ahead in 10 years, what world would you like to live and work in then?
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. This first question which you raise is somehow a question for a dream, a good wish, and of course includes also knowledge about on the basis of the knowledge of today, what is possible. So on the first level, on the dream level, I would say I wish to live in a world of peace and understanding and of respect and love, more love between human beings, and with a good relationship to nature and to the inner world. More realistically seen, I can see quite a trend in the field of psychology and psychotherapy, which there are several trends which are developing, but one trend goes into more humanism in psychology and psychotherapy and coaching, and to better understand the single human being, to improve the human living together, to strengthen human encounters, to develop the capacity to understand each other better and oneself better, and to live with more respect, to live correctly. We have a development of correctness in several areas. We have a high sensitivity for morality and ethical issues, and in the field of leadership and organizational developments, we have also one trend which goes towards the direction to give more freedom to the single decisions of the collaborators and workers in an enterprise or in a firm, to give them more responsibility and freedom to form, to give a gestalt to what they do. This is only one trend, and there are, of course, competitive trends which go directly in the opposite way. And this struggle will become more virulent in the next 10 years. I'm quite sure that the uniqueness of the human being and the respect for their personalities cannot be set aside so easily on a long run. This is my vision of the world in which I would like to live and work in the next 10 years.
Yeah. So how could we strengthen the respect for each other, or also the correctness and the ethical handling of situations that you just mentioned?
Yeah, we have to undertake more educational programs, to offer people possibilities, especially leadership personalities, the possibility to become more sensitive for themselves and for other people, and to develop the awareness of the impact which we have on our culture, on our human environment, and on our non-human environment. The last half year was very much going into this direction to develop more sensitivity for climate and environment and for nature and for all goods which we make use of, and that we don't just subordinate them, the use of these goods, to profit or to egoistic goals, but that we become more sensitive of the effect and the responsibility which we have in making use of the goods of this world. Competition and fights will certainly always happen, but what we can develop on the basis of this educational program for better development of the personalities is that a part of our being there, these competitions and fights, there may happen more dialogues, more exchange, maybe even with moderators, but that the human exchange, the human dialogue takes place in a broader scale. And of course, I wish that we can develop a new step in economy. We have a very old-fashioned capitalistic economy which is ruling our lives nowadays. We have to develop an economy which does not have to grow. And without growth, it is stuck. It doesn't function really. And with this growing, we produce additional problems which are not necessary and which lead to an exploitation of the resources. We have an overproduction. We have too many capacities in transport. We have too much production in food, in goods, and this is not healthy. This not being healthy is a real challenge for the leaders in economy. So, to sum it up, it needs more responsibility and connectedness between people. It needs to develop a better relationship to oneself, and out of this inner relationship to myself, we become more able to come closer to other people and to empathize with them and to be with them as we are with ourselves. The crude egoism leads to crude capitalism.
So do you see also a chance in the current Corona crisis? There is a lot of discussion going on these days, and sometimes also quite challenging or difficult discussions, I feel. But what I really notice in my close environment is that families get, even if we need to socially distance ourselves, we have more phone calls, we have more Zoom meetings. We really try to be as close as possible with our relatives and families again. So does the coronavirus probably also teach us what you just said, that if I fight as a lonely cowboy and very egoistic, I destroy the resources, but in this way we can probably start to understand what being close to each other and connected with each other means.
The actual situation, which reduces the activity outside to a minimum, in fact brings us a great chance. If we only are capable to use the chance and to help people who need help to use the chance, to give them this help. The chance is that we are restricted more to the inner world. All human beings are standing, this is a basic picture, a basic understanding of being human, are standing like on two legs, with one leg in the outer world, the business, what we do, the others, the other people and the nature, and the art, etc. And with the other leg, we are always standing in the inner world. The inner world is this world when we close our eyes, before we fall asleep, then we are totally reduced to the inner world. We take leave from the outer world and separate and are only with ourselves. Now we have a similar situation in the daily life. We are constantly in the inner world. We cannot separate from it because we always have thoughts and feelings and resonances in our body which accompany what we do, where we are, what we think. And so with the reduction of this being constantly absorbed by the activities and the businesses from outside, we are now reduced or drawn back to our inner world, so that we can start to have more dialogue with myself, more connection with my feelings, with my experiences, with my past, with what really matters me, that we start thinking about how am I living. This full stop in the outer world is leading me back to a thinking and reflecting, is this way how I live, is this really necessary? Doesn't it have great advantages to have much more time now to be with oneself, so that we make new experiences and establish a better relationship to our inner world? And out of this inner world, we can work more on the quality of our relationships which we have. We are much more communicating now. We have no social distancing. We have a social coming together, social empathy and connectedness. We have a physical distancing. Yeah, this is clear. But socially, we are closer. At least in my environment, I get this experience. I'm much more communicating also with my children who do not live in my apartment, but we communicate every day. And so this is a great chance to develop the inner world, this being better with myself. And when I can be better with myself, then I have the capacity to also improve my relationship to other people, to improve my relationship to collaborators, to colleagues. And out of this, we can really come to a revision of how are we living, what do we really need, do we experience values in this new situation, which we can hopefully after the crisis continue to live with.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that there should be more educational activities because in my experience, we don't learn to be connected with ourselves. And I don't know whether the people that have never connected with themselves before the crisis now just have a big fear of, I'm with myself alone, and probably I have to detect some things I don't really like that much. So what would be a certain a first step or second step what persons can do now if they don't feel too comfortable being really reconnected with themselves?
Mm-hmm. Indeed, this is not only a big chance, it is for many people a much more a challenge and a problem, and can lead to crisis, because for some people it is a totally different way of living and they are not experiencing it. And we are normally afraid of things which are new and where we are not sure if we can compete with it. So this new situation, this chance to have more time for oneself and to clarify relationships with other people, can lead to crises and to stress and produce anxieties or depressive feelings, especially when I feel incompetent to really be with myself and to be in a good relationship with myself. And many people never learned it or had any impulse to do so. So the first step is to know that there is an inner world, that there is a world which is called I can be with myself. I have to be with myself. I am always myself. But some people never encounter themselves during their whole life. They are always encountering other people. So be aware and think about it. I am. I am me. And I am in a relationship with my body and with my feelings and with my attitudes and convictions and beliefs and experiences. It's a whole wide world with what I am in relationship when I am just with myself. Some people devaluate themselves. They say, I'm not so important. This is wrong. I am the most important human being in the world in my life. I have to be responsible for my life, and I have to care and to cultivate my inner life. If I don't do that, then I will be lost. I will be not myself. I will feel emptiness. This emptiness needs to be filled up by work, by jobs, by alcohol, by sex, by drugs, whatever is helpful to fill up emptiness. But from my constellation, from my premises are so that I can be with myself. I can constantly receive myself. This is the structure of our being. Day after day, each day, I get myself back in the morning when I wake up. And I take myself into my arms and I am going with myself through this day. I am constantly deciding what I'm doing. If I'm going to eat, if I'm going to talk, to write, to work, to do gymnastics or whatever, I am constructing my life. Mm-hmm. This is the first step, to become really aware. I am given and entrusted to myself. And I am responsible for myself. And so I have to care for myself, and I have to connect with myself, and I have to speak with myself, how I feel, what thoughts come up in me. And when I have feelings of loneliness or of insecurity, they tell me something. They are a perception of what is going on in my life. This is very important first step. Second step is that we need other people to be able to become ourselves. We need to encounter, we need a person who really are interested for me, to listen to me for 10 minutes or for 5 minutes or for a half an hour, that I can tell them or that they tell me what they are moved by, and so come into an exchange. We can build up our own self only by talking with other people, by encountering other people. And this helps us to become myself. As Martin Buber said, the I can become I only by a Thou, by a You. Das Ich wird Ich am Du. He said it in German.
Yeah. So, if I can wrap it up, the first step would be that we engage in an interior dialogue with ourselves, that we listen to ourselves, that we kind of like reconnect with ourselves, and that even if bad emotions, feelings come up, we are not scared and hide, kind of, but we also look these emotions and what they want to tell us. And the second step would then go into the dialogue with others, because we need them kind of like as a mirror, to become more of us. And at the same time, also there, we need to be, or to develop these good listening skills, which I think is really essential in the business world, because there was more and more talking, monologuing, and less of this. Have a dialogue, we listen to each other, we respect each other by listening, and not by hitting the others with our own thoughts or ways of doing.
Very good, wrapped up. Thank you. So inner dialogue and outer dialogue, these are the main tools. And then, of course, we can enrich our life by art, by reading good books and literature, and also to go to a coach, to a psychologist, to develop the own personality just for 5 sessions. These 5 sessions can change so much in one's life. Yeah, so I really hope that for the next 10 years that we make a development in this becoming more human, more personal, that I live my life more personally. This is the key. When I can live personally, then it is me who lives in a good resonance with my inner self, with myself, with my core self, with what is my essence, with what really comes up from the depths, from the ungraspable depths in me, in this resonance, which is in tune with myself, so that I have the feeling I can let me see, I can show up as the one who I am. What I do is correct, is authentic, is me. To develop this being personal, this personal life, also in the business environment, to become more personal and not living with this facade behavior, but with this openness and this courage to be oneself. It needs courage, because we are vulnerable when we are really ourselves. We are more vulnerable than when we live a facade behavior, but even then we are vulnerable, but we do not show it. When we are afraid that other people think badly about us, when other people see that I am hurt. No, show it, speak about it. Be yourself, be personal. The human being is the measure for our culture, not the business, not the outcome, not the success. No, that I have a good life, that I lead a good life, and that I share the good of my life with other people. This needs really, in the business environment, development, education, building of personalities, and work on oneself, and not just tools or neutral instruments. It needs this going back to oneself, exactly what the crisis is teaching us. Look at yourself, look at the way how you are living, and take more time for your life and for yourself. And so, and this does not mean to go into an egoistic, egocentric, or narcissistic love of oneself. It means starting the open dialogue with myself opens up the capacity to a real dialogue with you and with the other person. This is my vision, my hope, my realistic perception that we are doing more into this direction in the next 10 years. And it is a little bit also dream that this will happen and take place.
Thank you so much, Professor Längle, for your insights and impulse. And in your last statement, I really got kind of like an artful statement that if we all play our own music, and are courageous to show what is really inside us. It could be a very human and the right life that we lead, which brings us into the dialogue with ourselves and others. I'm very, very grateful to your valuable time. And if you, the showers, viewers and listeners, would like to comment and share your own visions and ideas with us, just comment below this video. I'm looking forward to your ideas and wish you a healthy day.
Thank you for playing your music, and hopefully listeners will play their music by commenting. Thank you.
Thank you so much.